Good morning, I am Charles de Welf and I'm going to tell you about the influencers marketing. First of all, I'm going to tell you something about the evolution of the marketing. Then I'm going to tell you about the influencers, the different types of social media they use, the amount of money they can use, and how they do it. First of all, at the beginning, there was just some advertising in newspapers or in magazines. In that way, it was just for people who were reading the newspaper that they saw a certain product or a certain brand, and that when they go to the shop, they recognize it and they thought from, oh yes, we're going to buy that. Then we have the billboards and the posters, just the marketing on the streets, like we still have now. When we're waiting for the bus, we see, for example, a poster of Coca-Cola, or Times Square in New York is very well known for all his billboards. After that, we have the product placement. Product placement is when there are certain brands used in movies, that the people who are watching the movie, they don't have the idea that they are watching an advertisement, but they are, because in the movie there are brands used, and first you shouldn't think it, but when you are going to a store, you will make the connection with the movie and that brand, and you will be more likely to buy that brand. So it's a very subtle way of advertising, but it works. After that, the influence marketing came, because these times everyone has a smartphone, everyone uses Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on and on. So the marketeers couldn't ignore that anymore. So they started to think how to do marketing on the social medias. Here we see different social medias like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and we see that the amount of money you can earn as an influencer depends on how many followers you have. First of all, it's less than more. It depends on the kind of amount of followers. But we see that Instagram is the most important one. Then after that, we have YouTube with 70%. Then there is a big gap, and then we have Facebook with 45%. But so it's very clear that Instagram is the most important one with 89%. But I'm going to tell you later more about that. YouTube, for example. So influencers on YouTube, they can choose to tell their experience about a certain product and to show you how to use it, to tell their experience with that product, to tell you they like it most of all, because otherwise it's not really a good influencer. But Instagram is a lot more easier. They just post a picture with a certain dress, or for example with a glass of Coke in their hand, and they put next to the photo like a small text about how good the Coke is, of how nice the dress is. But there are some strict requirements. The requirements are more strict for the influencer with less followers than for example, very famous people, because the companies they are not very strict for them. But for example, you can send a picture to the company and ask if it's okay, and they can say no, the light is not okay, or the picture has to be taken outside, not inside. Our product is not, you cannot see our product very well, you have to do it again and again and again. I know someone who is an influencer, and she had like to do it 10 times over. For example, Cristiano Ronaldo, he was already famous before he was influencer, because he isn't an influencer, he's a footballer. He has a lot of followers on Instagram because he's a very well-known footballer. So a lot of companies ask him to use his Instagram. Here you see the top 10 of people who earn the most with Instagram. You see that Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, earns almost £800,000 for one picture. That's a lot of money. But you see, he earns 34 million a year with his football, which is very much, but it isn't as much as he earns with his Instagram, because with his Instagram he earns 47.8 million a year. So he earns more with his Instagram, with influencer, than with his football. Now the YouTube influencers. The YouTube influencers, like I said, they have a special public. They need to stay creative. They need to be special because without viewers, without subscribers, they don't get any money. They don't get any contracts with brands or etc. This is a good example of Gio. He's a Dutch influencer on YouTube. And he started with a very small account. And he started to make funny videos and people liked it, and more people started to look at his videos. And now he earns a lot of money with it, so he can buy a nice car, a nice home, he can make nice trips, and that he puts again in his videos, and that makes his videos very attractive because people like to see nice cars, nice houses, nice trips, so he can go on and on and on. Here we see again the different types of social medias and how many people there are active on it. So Facebook we have 2.2 billion, then we have YouTube 1.9 billion, and Instagram also 1 billion. So I think it's very clear that the marketeers couldn't ignore anymore the social medias, and they had to take it in a hand and just start and act on the social media. This was my presentation. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it.